Well, welcome to our center. You're welcome.
Dear brothers and sisters, thank you for having me here. I hope we have this next 40 minutes, not comprehensive, but a little bit of exercise of thinking about what we're doing in our daily lives. Do you guys believe in coincidence? Because I really don't. Like the gospel that was just read, it's totally about emotional intelligence. It's totally about how you choose to act or react. And there's a big, huge difference in being reactive or proactive. If you think about what's going on, what's coming to your way when you respond to some action and you don't react with the very first instinct, then you have 80% chances of responding that in a nice way. If you just go and react, boom, you have 80% chances of being in a hot spot. Nobody want to be in a hot spot. I don't want to be in a hot spot. I think you don't want to be as well. But let's think about all the... I've been studying too much in the last 5 years when I decided to be a speaker. I've been studying neuroscience and then neuromarketing and everything related to the brain, how the brain reacts and so far and so on. So what happened is, once you study this, it's amazing how science, it's equal to Spiritism, because both say both say at the same time that all the diseases that we contract, all the diseases that come to our body, comes from emotions. First, you get sick emotionally, and then, like a modem to a computer, you download the sickness through the per spirit to your physical body. So if we control, as Deepak Chopra, one of the biggest doctors that deals with spirit and body at the same time, used to say, our body is made of atoms. We renew those atoms 99% in 1 year. So if you do have a cancer and you change the source that creates the cancer, which is 100% emotional, in 1 year you're cancer free. No treatment, no chemotherapy, nothing. Can we do that? If we could, we'd probably not be in planet Earth. Unfortunately, we can't, because there's no way for us to deal with that, because we don't have this knowledge, we don't have this power. But can we develop? The least that we can do is try. So human science, human studies came up with this fancy term, emotional intelligence. That is nothing but Spiritist intelligence, because whatever science is telling, like the new secret, it's been told 2,000 years ago by Jesus in a different way. But unfortunately, we didn't hear. And now we buy expensive books talking about the secret, talking about how to get a better life, how to be a better salesman, it's all in one big book. Do you have patience and time to do it? If you can, if you read with your eyes and your spirit, everything is there. You just need to apply. So let me help you to realize some things. Can we move to the next slide, please? Intelligence, by the book, is the ability to learn or understand the perception, sorry about the misspelling there, understanding intellect intellectually. Emotion, in the other way, is the agitation. Interesting. The very first word to describe emotion is agitation, or disturbance of mind, feeling, passion, any excited of human feeling. Well, that can be good and that can be bad. But agitation is good. You know why? Because 10 minutes from now, you guys are going to be in a state of hypnosis. It doesn't matter if I dance a tango up here or if I keep talking in the same tone of voice, because our body get used, our brain get used to whatever comes to you, and then you need to change your body state. Standing up, turning to the side, moving your body will create a emotion. So yeah, it's an agitation. Of course it's an agitation. You agitate your body, you create a new emotion. And by creating a new emotion, you feel alive. If you keep going with the same emotion over and over, you are in a great path to depression. And all of a sudden, you're not going to feel anything else. Just that. Emotional intelligence, so it's a skill, ability, a self-perceived ability to identify, assess, and control the emotions of oneself, others, and groups. The very first one that talked about that was Goleman, and he said that's the ability to identify our own feelings and those of others to motivate ourselves and managing emotions, well in ourselves and in our relationships. Divaldo Franco, one of the greatest speakers, meeting of our, he's still the biggest one after Chico Xavier discarnate. So he used to use this metaphor. Think about yourself as a spirit that is inside a body. So if somebody comes to you and give you a gift of a word that is not very, flattering, that makes you nervous, that makes your blood boil, think about as a spirit incarnate in a body. As a spirit, go one step back, look at your body, look at the other person, and say, what's there for me? What can I do? If I react right now, what is the outcome? I work with this person, or this person is my boss, or is my wife. And if I react the way that my blood is telling me right now, my instinct is telling me right now, the outcome is no good. And then I'm going to spend the rest of my day side by side with this person. So when you step back and look at it, your outcome, your response totally change. Because then you have including a different part of your body, your brain, respond to that. So this is a kind of exercise that we can do all the time. And this is emotional intelligence. It's knowing that, well, my boss yells to everybody. Every day. He yells at me and I'm so, angry. Why does he yell at me? Well, good for you that he yells at you, because if he yells to everybody and he doesn't yell at you, there's something wrong with you. Because his parents yell at everybody. If you're the only one of the two, or you're going to get a raise or you're going to get fired. So I prefer that he yell at me instead of being, why did he yell at me? Good thing. When he said no news is the good news, sometimes a lot of yell is better than no yell if the person is just like that. So understanding. He's just like that. So why he going to behave differently? Why your wife is going to behave differently if she believes in that? Why your children is going to behave differently? Why your partner is going to behave differently? This is emotional intelligence. Know what is behind the act, not just the act. Can go ahead. Jesus and Buddha touched the hearts of his disciples, speaking the language of emotion, teaching the parables, fables, and tales. You know why? This is brand new. This is like less than 10 years study, neuroscience. Our brain relates to images, to metaphors. Our brain doesn't relate to words and doesn't relate to numbers. Our brain creates a image, and that's what they relate, if you pay attention to something, if you are in the same level as something, it's because that caught your attention by showing an image. So Jesus, long time knew that, Buddha as well. So they teach by parables. Instead of telling you that you need to love your enemy, in a time that the enemy was what? Decapitated, hanging on a rope. How can I love this guy? I know it's going to happen. Solomon law. So it's different. You cannot tell them to act in a way that they don't understand. So you tell them what is somebody's acting, and then they can judge by that. Jesus used the vernacular of the heart. Therefore, he spoke the language of emotion and sublime feeling, the law of love. Love yourself and love the others like you love yourself, and love God like you love yourself, and so far and so on. How can I love somebody if I don't love myself? In the bank of feelings, you can cut a lot of checks, but if you don't have funds to support the checks, the check will bounce back. And the interest in terms of feeling, it's way harder than interest in terms of money. So if you are to love somebody, make sure that you love yourself first. If you are to forgive somebody, make sure that you forgive yourself first. Somebody just said, and he's not a spiritist, he's one of the biggest speakers in sales. His name is Zig Ziglar. You want to be the most interested man. You want to be the most interesting man in the world. You have to be the most interested. You have to be interested in the others. You present yourself, you talk about yourself, and then let the other talk to you and download whatever they want. And in the end, what the outcome is? Wow, I never met somebody just like you. We're the best. Just because you listen. Why do you think that God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth? Does that tell you something? 2, 1? And we use this one a lot more than this one's? Why? We're not paying attention to the physical laws. We're just reacting. Emotional intelligence, Spiritist intelligence. It's an invitation to think before act. We can go. How can we self-improve ourselves? The opinion to improve ourselves every day happens as a result of numerous events that take place within the confines of the human brain. Our brain is made of 3 layers. The reptilian is responsible for the instinct. The limbic is responsible for the emotions. And the cortex, or neocortex, is responsible for every reason, every daily tasks that we deal with. Numbers, logic, and stuff. So we have to use all 3. But what happened is the prefrontal cortex is the one that responds right away, like this. How you doing? Do you think that his brain say, he's coming to shake my hand? I'm going to stand up. I'm going to extend my hand and shake his hand, or he just react to an action? React. Okay, so that's your prefrontal cortex. You have a lot of shortcuts that you develop during your life, and you don't even think about it. You just go for it. What if I go to him and try to smash him? Well, we are in the spirit center. That's not going to happen, right? But what that happen in the real world? Are you going to defend yourself, or are you going to hit him first? It depends. But if you think what's going on, maybe you can have a third response to that. What is it? I don't know. I don't play jiu-jitsu. So I'm not going to go in this way. But this is just a metaphor as well. So we use in every single way, because all these inputs come to our brain every day. Every day. And we need to know that we can respond differently just because we can turn off the prefrontal cortex and use the parietal, which is the one that we use when we're going to buy a fridge. You're not going to look at this fridge and say, wow, it's bright, it's white, has 2 doors, and it's cold. I'm going to buy it. No, you're going to look at the price. You're going to compare the price. So you use your parietal that compares things, that put things in the scale. That's what you want to use for your daily tasks as well, your daily inputs. Whatever comes to you, use the back one, not the front one. But that's a big trick on it. The prefrontal cortex is rapidly stimulated when something positive happens or is about to happen, releasing a substance called dopamine, which provides enjoyment. Dopamine is also highly addictive. That's where the problem starts, because we're going to have more. So every time we feel that something good is coming, yay, let's go for it. Don't even think. Just jump on it. But the brain reacts in a very different way when it comes to making decisions. A totally different part is stimulated when we consciously choose one item to another, as I talk about the parietal. The problem is that dopamine acts so fast that its effects can be felt almost immediately, while the decision-making process do not lead to an immediate sense of pleasure. Who here bought something, got back home and say, I wonder if that was the right choice? Cars, fridge, house, everything that is really a big investment, right? You never know if it was right or wrong. So you don't have the sense of pleasure right away because you still have some questions about it. And the other one is, boom, right there. Yes, I'm happy. But it's a trick. It's no surprise that the prefrontal cortex is the most used area of your brain for good or evil. Unfortunately, usually it's for evil, because it makes us prone to quick fixes and a behavior that is addictive. So that's where our problem starts. There is another speaker called Alberto Almeida that calls the term in Portuguese is encrenca, which is trouble, but it's a fancy name for trouble. He said that we have a lot of inside troubles that manifest in some wrongdoings, wrong responses, and so far and so on. So if you think about it, if you pay attention to what you do and why you did that, maybe you can correct for the next time. And if you did something that you know that is not right, and you can correct right away just by talking to the person that you did wrong, do it. It's still good, it's still valid, it still covers the other problem that you create. Maybe the other person don't realize that, but you try to, change the polarity. Think about yourself as a body made of atoms, which is energy. If you put negative energy here, what you're going to attract? We're not a magnet, so we don't attract positive. We attract negative. If you put positive, you attract positive. Unfortunately, planet Earth, you cannot plant pineapples and get bananas out of that. Not yet. Maybe in the next cycle. Maybe. I don't know. But not now. And if you plant pineapples, you better have a knife, because they're sharp and pointy. And you can hurt yourself to try to peel with your hands. So think about what you're planting. Think about what you're doing before you act. That will save you, that will save me, that will save us a lot of trouble. What are our abilities that we can use and we can improve? Emotional self-knowledge, recognize their own emotions and feelings when they occur. What is really coming to my brain? Why am I so angry with this person? Who here has children? Have you ever find yourself angry with your child for no reason or a reason so little that doesn't explain all the angriness that you have? Guess what? Your child is mimicking you. Is mimicking a encrenca, a trouble that you have inside of you and you don't like. That is called the shadow effect. When your shadow touches somebody, you recognize in him or her what you don't like in yourself. And you dislike it way more because you don't like in yourself. So by don't liking in yourself, you are condemn the other. Who made you judge? Where did you study? Which university is that make you judge all of mankind? You're not. But you are so angry that you have this problem inside of you that you condemn everybody else that has it, because you don't want to assume that you have it inside. So look at that. Recognize your own emotions and feelings when they occur. And then we say, wow, why am I feeling, why am I experiencing that angriness for nothing? It's just my child. It's just my son. It's just my daughter. She's harmless. And why I'm so angry? Maybe there's something else there. And then you don't react the way that you think that you would. It's essential for men to have self-confidence and know their strengths and weaknesses. Matthew, on the Bible, said that when you do pray, enter thy closet, and thou hast shut thy door, pray to thy Father which is in secret. What is he saying? Which closet is that? Which door is that? Our closet. Our inner door. Look inside, not outside. That is the tale about this student that went out to experience the world and see and still stay with the best of the Occident and Orient. You know, he spent like 10 years with the best scientists and got all the knowledge about things, that technology, everything that can make people's life better. And in his very last day, he asked his master, what is the secret? What is, for being so aware, what is the secret of awareness? And the master of the Occident said, the secrets, keep your eyes wide open and see everything that is around you. He traveled to the Orient, spent 10 more years with the monks. Very last day, he asked, Master, what is the secret of self-awareness? And the monks say, the secret is to keep your eyes closed. Look inside. We have lunets. We have telescopes. We look at Mars. We look at the stars. We look everything outside of us but us. If we don't change, once again, if our bank of emotions lack of funds, it doesn't matter if we know how long is our galaxy, if we know how fast can we go to get to Mars or Jupiter or Venus, nothing's going to change. Because you didn't change. And if you didn't change, nothing will change. So here's in the Bible what the scientists are telling now, what the Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar, Seth Godin, guys that step on the stage and make $1 million every time they step on the stage, are selling for $1 million. And Jesus gave us for nothing. And we're still not looking at it. Isn't it amazing? We can go ahead. Emotional control. Dealing with our own feelings, adapting them to each situation experienced. Various reincarnations, a multitude of feelings to be worked out. This kind of feelings that come up all the time, adapt them to create a new emotional reality. You can control by paying attention to what's going on and create another understanding. When they say adapt then to create a new emotion, it's just understand where your emotion come from and repurpose. You had a purpose for that emotion. Repurpose. Once you understand what happens, change. You can change. I didn't know, like we all don't know, what happened or what the lecture will be before you give your speech. But look at that, John. If any one of you is without sin, let him be the first to throw a stone on her. We just heard that. You know why? Who can say that never, ever got a bad thought, bad doing in their lives? And if you can say this now, and you are close to Mother Teresa, Chico Xavier, Buddha, Gandhi, and all this, average guys, right? If you can say that, you have a experience of the past lives, and you brought a big bag with you. But let me tell you, if you're not a missionary in planet Earth, that means that you're not an angel. I'm not an angel. We're not angels. Otherwise, we're not going to be experiencing everything that we experience every day here. Otherwise, we're not going to be incarnating in this world. That new generation right in the back there, they have a big task. They will change. They will help to change the vibration, the polarity of this world. So it's a big, huge, huge